To do that, you got to be in the 50, 60, 70 foot range. So as a market here, you know, it's changed. It's no longer that the growth is no longer in the 80 to 150 foot market. And we all have to accept that reality and figure out how do we change our business plan, how do we change what we're doing to meet the demands of the marketplace. I was just recently in Europe. I spent 2 weeks in Europe, not at the association expense, but at our company expense. But I visited, you know, most of the major yards. I went to Italy. I saw what Italy's doing, the investment that they have made. Benetti alone, their investment at a new facility is greater, I'd say 3 times more than the total investment made in Fort Lauderdale over the last 10 years. Just Benetti alone. A huge, it took over basically a whole city. They have condominium shops, and they have the ability to build between 10 and 12 200-foot plus boats. And they have virtually no interest in building anything less than 200 feet. And that was kind of the first place that I looked that we went to. Then I went to CRN, also on the other side of Italy. Same story, brand new facilities, unbelievable facilities, better than anything we have here in Fort Lauderdale or in West Palm. Again, focused entirely on 200 plus. Then I went to, I saw Pretty Navi, which they build sailboats, and also they're also getting bigger. Then I went to Germany, met with Blom & Voss. They're focused on building 300 foot plus boats. Went to Novus Crew. They have 5 boats under construction. They're basically the same boat, 260 feet in length. And to one buyer who built 5 of them, and an English guy, and now he's looking for a place to sell them. Went to Fedship. You know, 3 years ago I visited Fedship's yard, and they were focused on the 45 meter. It was like a semi-production boat, and they were saying that's the future of, you know, 150, 160 foot boat that they'd be able to spit out really fast, and they had retooled their whole operation for that. Today, they have no intention of building any more of those boats, and they are focused almost entirely on 200 feet and bigger. That's Fedship, who, you know, really their #1 focus was in the U.S. Heeson, the most impressive of all the operations that I saw, was purchased by a Russian owner, and they are focused on selling boats to Russia. Lursen, also focused on selling to the other markets. So what you see is that because of the dollar exchange, they don't have American buyers anymore. And the danger is if a European or an American is buying a boat, that boat's going to come back to the U.S. If a Chinese or a Russian person buys that boat, that's a long way for that boat to come all the way back and end up in our part of the world. Of the big super yachts, of these foreign flagged vessels, only 20% of those vessels come to the Caribbean. And of the 20% that come to the Caribbean, only 10% end up in Florida. And that's the number that we got to work on. We have to get that number, the 20% higher, and we got to get the 10, you know, half of those, the 10% number higher as well. And we can do it. We can do it by working all together. And that's really what, at the association, at the MIASF, why I volunteered for the job of executive director, was trying to bring some of that attention and focus and market intelligence and connections and whatever it is we could do to all work together to say, you know, we can band together, work together, and address the realities of the marketplace. We need one voice for all these issues. I think that we have been able to get a lot of recognition as an association, international recognition. We need to focus on the new reality and focus on, and that new reality is that the association has 3 purposes. One is to promote the industry, 2 is to promote professionalism in the industry, and 3 is to address regulatory constraints on our industry. And anything beyond those 3, you only do if you've really accomplished the first 3. And we have a long way to go before we finish accomplishing those 3 things. So we spent the last year really kind of getting our house in order. We had a staff of, I think, nearly 8. We are down now to a staff of 2. But those 2...
Melanie left, and for those of you who did not see
right.
the blip, if you're not a member,
yeah.
Miss Melanie.
Those 2 are working harder then, well, honestly, I think those two are working probably as hard as all your staff members are working today. It's just the reality of today's marketplace, and we have tried not to decrease the service that we provide. To really try to focus on what's important to our members, and focus on members that really want to be a member. I got letters from a lot of folks that said, I've been a member for 15 years and I've never gotten anything out of the association. Well, then you shouldn't be a member. You know, I mean, it took you 15 years to figure it out. And it's not to put them down, it's that they don't get what it is that we're trying, that needs to be done for our industry. When I hear about companies that are struggling today, you know, it breaks my heart. It's families, it's real people who are unable to meet their mortgage payments or their obligations or whatever it may be. And we as industry leaders, if you're in this room, you're an industry leader. Otherwise you wouldn't be sitting here. It's our obligation to figure out how do we make it better for everybody. How do we get the economy, the marine economy back going, and some of you may argue we need to be also focused on how do we get our city and county and state and country going in the right direction as well. But I'll leave that up to all of you to decide where exactly you are on that chain. I will say one thing, I spent 2 hours yesterday with Congressman West, and as far as I'm concerned, what an incredible person leading the direction, going in the right direction, and he is getting killed. So as bad as I think I get it sometimes, I look at him and I'm like, all right, well, I can take it a lot worse. If he keeps going, I'll keep going. And I hope that I can only hope that I'm close to the same right path that I think that he is on. The association today is stronger and healthier than it's been in a long time. We lost $350,000 2 years in a row. No association can do that for too long before you're out of business. This year, I'm happy to say that we were profitable. We're going to make over $150,000. We have over $1 million of cash in the bank. So we are a solid association that is poised to figure out the right thing to do as a group and to go do that. And that direction is not established by me, it's not established by Christy as our incoming president, it's established by our members. We had a great anchor membership meeting, which are what we consider the most active of our membership group. And we sat around and we talked about what is it that we need to do to get this association back on track. I mean, I am a volunteer and my job is almost done, to be perfectly honest with you. What I specialize in is getting a company that's not profitable and making it profitable. And that's what we did with the association. That's what we did at Rybovich. And hopefully what we can do to all of our as an industry, what we will do. And we will do that with the leadership of our anchor membership and the general membership. And the board, I cannot stress enough how great it is to have an incredible 11 great candidates for this board. That any one of those 11 would be a great addition to our board for next year. So we can expect a lot of great things from the association. And it's no longer dependent on revenue that we used to get from the boat show. And that is important because the boat show is just like everybody's business in here. The boat show is suffering from the same issues that I'm talking about. That boat show is, what gave it really the impetus was all the big export, companies like the Fetch Ships, the Lursons, their big exhibits, all the boats in the water, all that kind of stuff. As they see less and less sales coming from the American market, you're going to keep seeing reductions in the size and the scope of those presentations there. So the boat show needs to reinvent its business model just like we do, and I think you're going to see a lot of changes from the boat show as well. We, as the association, although we own the boat show, we don't control the boat show. We have an operator that really runs that show, so show management really is the one that is going to have to address those issues over time, hopefully sooner rather than later. The solution. The first solution is we can all leave the country. That's the first solution. But we're not a country of quitters, so I don't think for anybody that's really an option. So then our next solution is to recognize the problem, recognize us as first start with your own business, Take a look at what the market is, ask around, ask fellow members, ask fellow MMA members, ask anybody with any information, and really take a good evaluation of what your particular issue is, and then look for the opportunities and create a solution for your business. You know, as an industry, we are the sum of the parts, and each individual company needs to be healthy for us to succeed. At Rybovich, we cannot succeed. We will not succeed if we don't have very strong, healthy subcontractors doing what they do every single day. And we recognize that, and that's really why I'm standing here today, is to say, please, I beg you, you know, whatever your business reality is, face it, come up with a plan and a solution, and we will all be much better off. Focus on professionalism. That we have gotten away and we have tolerated subpar performance from ourselves and from our vendors and from our other fellow co-workers. You know, that cannot last anymore. That we have to focus on the top quality and act more like professionals here. Price, we all are going to have a price advantage for now because of the dollar-euro or dollar, really every currency exchange rate. So we're all going to have a short-term price advantage, but that will not last if we don't improve both our quality and our speed to deliver the product. So that, in short, is the solution to our issue. I ask you all to get informed, get involved. One of the opportunities that we're going to have is that there's going to be an American Superyacht Forum.
Can you pass that out?
Yeah, if you could.
Sure.
In May, it's a three-day seminar about the state of the international marine industry as well as the American marine industry. We've negotiated special rates for the morning of the Monday of the meeting